With this latest pack in Master Duel, one deck has received more support than any other. A deck with a level 1 fire monster, and a deck with a bunch of fiends. I'm not talking about Snake Eye, I'm talking about Infernoids. As a synergy with one of their level 1 fires, Decatron works well with Azamina and Snake Eye cards, and the fact that they're all fiends and have fiend fusions make it a fantastic fit for the Fiendsmith cards. So, like I've been promising for months now, I'm finally going to be making Infernoid meta. Now, before I get into the Infernoid cards, if you guys want to see any specific decks, please let me know by commenting down below, as well as if you just enjoy the series. Like, subscribe, as well as I appreciate all the support. But with that said, let's get into Infernoid. So Infernoid came out several years ago, and I think they were introduced in
Secrets of Eternity,
a very memed on set. For me, it's a set that stings me a little bit because I won a couple boxes in tournaments, and that set was so bad that I could pay $5 for my entry and still lose money after winning a full box. Yeah, it was a bad set. But what are they? Well, Infernoids were kind of lauded as the second coming of Dragon Willers, which at the release of Infernoids had been heavily hit on the ban list. They're a bunch of fiend monsters that can summon themselves from the hand or graveyard, depending on the level, by banishing a number of Infernoid monsters from the hand or grave. Again, the number you have to banish depends on the level of the Infernoid. They then have a bunch of other effects, all of them also including an effect that requires you to tribute a monster in order to do something bonus. Most of them banish a card from your opponent's graveyard, while the two boss monsters, Deviati and Anunku, would negate either a monster or a spell and trap, depending on which one you had. Further variations of Infernoid would start to see success along the release of Raging Tempest when Grasslook Arena came out, as well as the Zodiac monsters enabled a good normal summon that generated resources via Bujin Kangatsuchi or the Fusion sub combo that led the deck to be a viable tier 1 threat for several months. And even though it is no longer the top tier meta so as today, new support has kept it being somewhat viable. Now, there are a lot of Infernoid cards, because as I said, you had support sprinkled out over a couple of years. That being said, I'm going to have to gloss over a couple of less important ones and only really give focus to what's important. Now, the most important one in my mind is without a doubt Infernoid Decatron. Like I said, Decatron is level 1 Fiend Tuner, which on summon, normal, or special can send one Infernoid from your deck to the graveyard, except Decatron, and if you do, increase the level of this monster by that of the Scent monster. If you do, the monster's name becomes that of the Scent monsters as well, and you replace this card's effect with that card's effect. So you're going to be able to get whatever you need, as well as it just dumps from deck to grave. It's fantastic because it's also once per turn, meaning you can cycle through this card several times in one turn and do a lot with them. As well as this card is a tuner, so it's going to be how you set up cards like Cypher and Lord Omega. However, given how tight this deck's extra deck is, and how important so many of the links and fusions are for this version specifically, I'm not exploring the synchro route, but part of the cool part about Infernoid is how malleable it is when you build it, and you can go for a synchro route. And this is truly the heart and soul of Infernoids. But on the other end of the spectrum, let's talk about the big boss monsters that make it all right. So Anunku is our level 10 big baddie. Him alongside Deviati are going to be the two boss monsters I guess you call it on the deck, although there are some other tertiary boss monsters. They can both be summoned from the hand or graveyard by banishing 3 Infernoids from your hand or grave, 3 exactly, the rest of them require different amounts, while the total levels and ranks of all monsters you control are 8 or lower. This 8 or lower clause is present on all of the Infernoids, and it's something you are going to have to be careful with managing when going for game. It was a big restrictor back in old Yu-Gi-Oh, but with Link monsters now, you can control this very conveniently, and it's not really going to hurt you that much, unless you're not careful. But still. Anyways, this card's on summon effect lets you destroy all of the monsters on the field. Also, once per turn, when a spell, trap card, or effect is activated, you contribute a monster to negate the activation and banish that card. It is a pretty good boss monster. Nuking the field with a negate is pretty good, and you can do so several times as long as you have the resources to accompany it. Deviati is pretty similar, with just a slightly smaller stat line, 1 level less, under attack and defense less. It requires 3 to banish to summon itself as well, and on summon, destroys all spells and traps, and for tribute, can negate monster effects. Deviati and Anunku are fantastic as board wipes, and as negates to push through fields, and as negates to end on. They are phenomenal, as well as they're good to send off of Decatron because copying the negates is good, obviously. Now to fill out the cast of Infernoids, we have a bunch of other ones. The level 1, 2, and 3 Infernoids are all a bit different, apart from Decatron, of course, because they can be special summoned from the hand only, but also only require 1 monster to banish them. They all have the same tribute effect, in which they can tribute only during their opponent's turn, to banish one card in your opponent's graveyard. They all have some other bonus effects as well, and we can get into those later, but they're not super important. There are some mid-level Infernoids as well that can be summoned from the graveyard or the hand and only require 2 monsters to banish them, but also they contribute to banish a card in your opponent's grave during either player's turn, making them useful for dodging and targeting effects, as well as pushing through graveyard effects like Snow or Promethean Princess. These can also make up secondary boss monsters because cards like Seismitos and Atondel have big attacks and are really recursive, so they, in their own right, can keep up the game by themselves. Now, obviously, the goal here is to fill up your grave as much as possible, because all the Infernoids can summon themselves, many of them from the grave, and you need a graveyard to be full to do that. And one of the best ways to do that is with their fusion monster and a newer card. Infernoid Evil is a fusion monster level 1 that requires 2 Infernoid monsters, and it's a fiend, which means you can summon it with Fiendsmith sequence. And if it's fusion summoned, it can banish 1 Infernoid from your grave to send Infernoid monsters from your deck to the graveyard with different names equal to the level of the monster that you banish. So if you banish an Anku, you mill 10 different Infernoids. And it itself is an Infernoid, so that's going to be your 11th name. But this card has another effects, so let's not rush to conclusions. Like Kitkalos, has another effect when it leaves the field. When it's sent to the graveyard or banished, you can add 1 Void Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand. The Void Spell and Traps are very powerful, so we will get to those soon. But there's one other fusion monster that is also very strong to talk about. That is Infernoid Tierra, which requires an Anku plus Deviati and then 1 or more Infernoid monsters. When fusion summoned, lets you apply these effects in sequence, base number of materials with different names used for its summon. With 3+, each player sends 3 monsters from their extra deck to the grave. 5+ lets you mill the top 3 of each player's deck. 8+ lets you return up 3 of each player's banished cards to the grave. And then 10+ requires 10 materials, says each player sends their entire hand to the grave. They may say, how is that possible? Well, what you can do is if you have 10 Infernoids in your grave, including Deviati and Anku, you can go sequence, this is the Fiend Fusion, shuffle back 10, and if your opponent is sat there holding a bunch of Vengeance cards on turn 1, it's gone. And this is especially easy if you're able to fuse for Infernoid Evil without using sequence, because then you can banish an Anku, dump 10 from deck to grave, link away into your Fiendsmith stuff, sequence, rip 10, and then you should keep yourself just enough Infernoids or Promethean Princess into Infernoids to then lock out the game. And with no cards left, you shouldn't have that much of a hard time doing so. But there's other ways to fusion summon the deck, and one of the Void spells just does that. If you thought this deck could use a Shaddoll fusion, well, you're right, it has one. Void Imagination has some random effects making your guys level 2, but more importantly, so you can send it to the graveyard to fusion summon an Infernoid monster from your extra deck using materials from your hand or field. However, if your opponent controls a monster summoned by the extra deck, and you do not, you can also use up to 6 materials from your deck as material. And guess what can use 8 materials? Tierra. Or you could just use all 6 from the deck, and then that's fantastic. Obviously, send 6 Infernoids is very powerful. Also, please note, I did not say it was once per turn, so when you have multiple, let that shit rip, baby. They're dead. And now, it is also searchable because Void Vanishment lets you discard a card to add a Void Spell or Trap to your hand, meaning you can get your Imagination. And it gets even better than that, because Void Feast is an alternative card for when you go in first to search off Banishment. Lets you send a Void Spell or Trap from your hand or field to the grave, special up to 3 Infernoid monsters from your deck, whose total levels equal exactly 8, ignoring the summoning conditions. So if you're going first with Vanishment, Vanishment will add Feast, and then Feast will be used on your opponent's turn, summon 2 Decatrons, as well as 1 Sajet. And the Decatrons can then send Ananku and Deviati to grave, giving you a Monster Negate, a Spell and Trap Negate, as well as a DD Crow effect that then will be converted into 5 Infernoids in grave to then do whatever the hell you want. And lastly is Void Reignition, which is one of the newer support cards for Infernoids that I think is pretty neat. Lets you reveal an Infernoid or Void Spell Trap in your hand, and then just discard your entire hand and redraw the same amount. That's not great. It can unbrick some hands. Main reason to do this though is the Graveyard effect, which says if you control no monsters or all fiends, then except the turn is sent from the graveyard, you can banish it to target up to 11 of your banished Infernoids with different names and put them back in the grave. So that's just means that any deck that should be good at grinding will not be able to keep up against you, because you get to recycle Deviatis, Anankus, whatever, ripping apart their fields, their graveyard, and their disruptions repeatedly. Now, there is one last Infernoid card that we're including, and that is Infernoid Flood, a Link 4 that is also newer to the deck, that is very nice to tip off the boss monster aspect of this deck. It is a Link 4 that requires at least 1 Infernoid monster, which means any Infernoid plus a princess is a fantastic candidate. It says when your opponent would special summon a monster, quick effect, you contribute a monster, negate the summon, and banish it. So it can act like Thunder King Ryo. Also, if a card is banished from your graveyard, you can banish one card on the field. That's during either player's turn. Now, so when you summon an Infernoid, it'll trigger to banish their card, so it can help you push through stuff. But if you have, say, a Fairy Tale Snow Engrave or a Black Gale Laughs, and you do that on the opponent's turn, that will also trigger its effect to banish a card your opponent controls. Then lastly, if this Link Summon card is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can special summon from your deck one Infernoid ignoring its conditions. Meaning if they have Regeki or whatever, it's not the end of the world. Flip for an Anku Deviati, and you'll still maintain some negates and some pressure. But that is the Infernoid archetype. It is a fair bit of cards, and there are some that I don't play, but I think it all wraps out pretty well. With that said, let's take a look at my deck. Okay, so here is the deck. Now, this deck is going to differ a little bit between each format. For example, in Master Duel, as opposed to TCG, you have access to 3 copies of Reasoning and Monster Gate. Now, all the Infernoids that aren't Decatron cannot be normal summon in their set. So if you Monster Gate a Reasoning, you'll get to mill through a lot of Infernoids. This was a prime win condition from the early day Infernoid strategies. You want to make sure you still have a plenty amount of Infernoids that you can mill and be happy with the mills, as well as not the worst to draw, because you can still tribute them for cards like Deception of the Symbol Spoils, and discard them for Reignition and whatnot. So yeah, but this deck could honestly end up like 80-90 cards. It's like Crystal Beast, where it has so many synergies, and refining is rather hard, and you can keep adding in good cards. But this is where I kind of felt it was the best. Dark Ruler makes sense for this deck, because Dark Ruler, you can't leave them alive unless you really rip apart their follow-up. And guess which deck can rip apart graveyards by banishing them, as well as make crazy negates? This deck. So Dark Ruler fits very well with this, and you don't mind if you can't kill them, because you'll just rip apart their grave, make a good field, and you're chilling. Especially if you can connect in a Reasoning or Monster Gate or a Grass. Then we've also included graveyard effects like Black Goat and Snow as good things to mill off of Grass, Monster Gate, Reasoning, as well as Beatrice. Obviously, it's a Fiendsmith deck, so Beatrice is easy access. And then we're not playing Desiree in this deck because one, extra deck is tight, but also with the Fiendsmith sequence, you're oftentimes not even making your Lacrima. You're going to be making your Infernoid Evil or your Infernoid Tiara. But the key stars in this deck are for sure the spells. The spells are broken, and that's why I play so many of them. And we play just enough monsters to make the spells worth running. And I think this is where we end up. Now you could play more good mills, like more Black Goats, more Reignitions. You could play more Snake Eye cards. You can play more Witches even. You can play more Infernoids, more Fusion spells. It's hard to know. And I encourage you guys to try this for yourself, because very cool deck. But I've been rambling on for a long time. Infernoid is an incredibly cool deck, and one that I haven't given enough time to play on my own. So I'm excited to do so today. And let me know what you guys think of this deck. Let's go duel. Okay, we have lost the roll up against Key, and it looks like we're playing a 60 card mirror match. Not that that means they're playing Infernoid. Wait, they're playing 59 with Nouvelles? Okay, that's not what I expected, which is pretty interesting. Hand here looks okay. They got a mix of stuff going on. It's been a while since I played Nouvelles. I'm very curious what the plan is here. Also, why is their deck 60 cards or 59 cards? I'm not sure, but I guess we'll find out. I have no hand traps in this deck, so we're chilling, and let's see what they do, and then we'll try and crack it. Obviously, you don't want to draw your trap cards when you go second, so Void Feast here is a little awkward, but it's really only bad card on my hand. Void Reignition here, it's not great. Obviously, I'd want it with Infernoid monsters, but it can still be used to cycle dead cards, specifically the Feast. That's obviously not a good trade, but it can be something. Hopefully he at least summons once from the extra deck, because then this also kind of blows. But yeah, we'll see. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The Nouvelle stuff is a lot of actions to accomplish very little, so yeah. it's not cool. Yeah, here things gonna affect. It's gonna tribute my monster now, so I'm not gonna have the free Monster Gate target, as nice as that would be. We are still gonna have to land Bonfire to do that for us. I think that's big of a deal. Special summoning out. This one's a Smell Trap. And this one draws. Okay. So, what do I know in their hand? They added Belle Minière. So, voici la carte. Pick two, and then I pick one to go to hand, or is it? Yeah. So, I want them to get a Beast Warrior or a Beast. They already have this one, so probably just give them this. I mean, they already used Boulia base, so. Which spell do they use? They use Richette de Poisson. Which one gives them Poisson? Beast Warrior gives them Poisson, which is weird. Beast Warrior giving them fish. Warrior gives them meat. So I want to give them fish again, because I already used fish, right? Beast Warrior. Yeah, let's give him the Beast Warrior one. No, it's not once per turn. I'm stupid. Okay, and he added one from deck anyways, so he plays multiple. He's targeting. Okay, so he's gonna get to rank up again or tribute up. So it's just targeting that way. You can sack these off now, and then they're gonna go into probably the 5. That's in their hand though. He gets 4 or 5, right? This one gets, yeah, almost 4 or 5. So there's the 5. There's some search and summon for any Nouvelles recipe card. And target one attack one monster and tribute it. Yeah, so versus this deck, you want to keep your monsters in defense mode. And link decks will struggle against this, obviously. But if you don't rely on linked monsters, it can be pretty easy to navigate around this stuff typically. Because they don't get the free stuff. Okay, it's going to give them a free draw. Yep, there's the Omni Negate, the counter trap, negate anything I do. They get to cycle back a card to draw a card. There's a lot of, yeah, yes, they have a lot of cards right now, but it doesn't actually convert into too much that's threatening unless it turns into something else here. Normal summon here, it gives them another attack when monster tribute, which it's not that big of a deal. So I got a tribute summon. That's the meat recipe. I did not know that one. So I still know a Poisson in their hand, right? Unless I made a mistake earlier. Yeah, they still know Poisson. That I already knew as well, the Boulia base. Place in Pendulum. Is it almost per turn? It is. Maybe I'm mistaken. So once the Omni Negate, pretty obvious. So double Omni, and then get to cycle a card, draw. So all the drawing here, like they draw like 2 or 3 cards. So they drew 3 cards here. There's a good chance you get like Max Heat or whatever, which can be just a little bit of a nuisance. Draw. No extra deck monsters is a shame considering I have 2 Void Imaginations. That's super annoying. Do I just let this rip? This may eat the Omni Negate, to be honest, the Void Reignition, at which point I can just go Bonfire safely. But if I have Ash for that, then I'm kind of effed because these do nothing. So it depends what I consider to be the safe play, what's not the safe play. I wish they had a monster summon from the extra deck on field to make this so easy by comparison to what it is now. I think they will Omni Negate the Bonfire. They might. So I'm gonna try bait the Omni with the Reignition. This could be bad. Let's show them spell, I guess. Draw 3 new cards. Now let it resolve. Okay, Talents, not bad. I have a Decatron. Decatron does play into this, but we can also tribute to dodge it. Which is, or once it resolves, we can. I'm a normal Decatron in the hope that this forces some sort of thing here, although I'm not too hopeful. Because they can chain target here, which is what they probably should do. Effect Veiler. Okay, that's fine. Effect Veiler is okay because it turns on talents as well, so I'm actually super okay with that. I want to tribute this so this is dead. So I want to use Monster Gate now. And then if I hit Poplar off this, it's a bit weird. No, this will force the Omni, I think. I'll just force the Omni now. That way this is dead. I think this is a good call. This will either eat an Ash or the Omni. Yeah, the Omni has to get used there. And now we'll Bonfire, and this should resolve. And this shouldn't do much as long as I avoid using attack mode monsters. Yep, so it's Bonfire. Also check for an Ash or whatever. Poplar. Back to special. An effect to add. Looks like there's no hand traps here. This one needs to be targeted, right? So there's no way to target my cards right now. And if that's the case, then this can't be used to sack off my monster. Then I can play aggro here. But I mean, I can Talent Steal this and make Fiendsmith cards. And why the Fiendsmith cards matter a lot is obviously I get to make Infernoid evil in case original gets stopped. So I think I'm game for that. I don't have enough cards for... I still get to do Fiendsmith stuff, but still better. Right? Drawing Blind has to be worse. Yeah, and Drawing Blind has to be worse. Because I also want to get rid of this so I can make links. Let's take control. Voila. Oh, enfoncé. Okay, make this. I make sure not to target this with my thing, obviously. That would be very bad. Très bad. Très. Target this. And let's go into our Requiem. Yeah. And they just conceded. Okay. So, yep. The reality of using a powerful combo deck like Infernoids is when they get to the point where they see their demise, they just leave. But the game plan there, which is assuming they have nothing, which is what it looks like, through all the hand traps and the Omni or whatever, is we go Engraver, we put it in defense mode, so we pop the Boolia base so it can't tribute off our guy. Original for Decatron. Dump another guy, probably one of the bigger ones in Anku Deviati. And then we're going to make Sequence, Fused for Evil. Dump 10 by banishing an Anku, so that's all set up. Then we go into Princess. And then from there, we can build Lethal from there, because we can revive Decatron, revive an Anku, make Flood, revive again. And you can see how Lethal presents itself pretty quickly. The big point is, game's done. And people see the Fiendsmith stuff and think it's just Fiendsmith stuff. No, there is synergy, as we've been over several times. We were going to use it there. But let's try to get a replay where our opponent doesn't concede. Okay. I won the roll. John Grass call by. Oh, I love it. I feel like a villain. Our opponent's going to leave any second. Oh, see, this is the upside of grass decks. Or just one. There are some games you just insta win. They're gonna. I'm gonna let this resolve. I want to call by Maxi if that happens. Should check their deck count. Yeah, they're on 40. Okay, let's the grass look greener. Oh man. Okay, let's see what effects do we have in here. Just original, and no Fiendsmith stuff. No Engravers is kind of lame. That's a Nanku. How many Infernoids here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so what's my game plan here? Let's get Poplar out. First things first. Just do get a free body. Oh, I can get Decatron. I don't know why I wouldn't get Decatron, right? Because I don't need the normal summon, right? Yeah, no, Decatron's way better. Ignore me and my stupid decisions. I can Heat of this as well. Does he have Droll? Okay, so now Infernoid Evil doesn't get a search if I don't want to call by this. I don't think I care enough to call by this. So let's... If I go special, I have a Decatron Engrave, right? Heat up Princess and make negates. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I know I'm talking to myself here, but it's the names are really confusing for Infernoid cards. So truthfully, I'm not very good at like telling which one's which. I'm gonna banish some names here now. For this is Sajet, I think, and then Prometheus. I want to just bait stuff out before committing a normal summon. That way I can pivot if need be. And let's make Hita. There's no Void Reignition on my grave, right? That would have been a nice smell, but there's not. Okay, I have to be a little careful. That should still be completely fine, but yeah. Get our Ash. I mean, it seems like there's no interrupt, so yeah, I think I just do Fiendsmith stuff now. I don't know. The Fiendsmith stuff will be good follow-up for next turn, so I should probably do it. I put a Monster to get engraved just to make sure it resolves. Then let's go into Moon. I'm not going to do anything too flashy here. I'm still going to end on the same sort of stuff as before. I'm just cycling through this. What it means is one Decatron gets burnt, I guess, but this is fine because it's better follow-up. Special the card. Deck. Yeah. It's going to Engraver out. I already have one Life Fiend engraved because I've milled the Lurry, which is important to note. If Equip is here, that'd be cool, but it is not. So let's go Sequence. And if I get Nibiru, it's not the end of the world. I'll still have all the Fiendsmith and Infernoid stuff plus the call by. And he'll be down to like no cards left. So I don't have enough Infernoids to go for Tiara. That would be like, or like the rip their hand with Tiara. I would just summon and do nothing. This would dump more, but I can't search, so I'm just going to go for Lacrima. And I'm not going to add back the Engraver because obviously I can't search. get back Engraver. Special summon Engraver field. Yes, I would like to do that. Now with Beatrice here, do I even want to go Beatrice? I have enough monsters to do it, so yes, I should. Send Snow from deck to grave. Yes, that's exactly it. Let's send Snow. Because on their turn I can send Black Olafs. Okay. And then let's go Engraver effect. Back to Lurie. I have to speed up a little bit here because I'm running low on time. What I need to do is get a monster beside the princess so I can make it Infernal Flood still, right? Oh no, because I need to... that doesn't work. Okay, I shouldn't have activated this. That was stupid. Oh, whatever. Spanish 7 cards. Now I have more than I need, actually. This was wrong. Let's make Princess. All right, Cross Sheep does nothing. I already did everything. Yeah. I can revive the Decatron, and I can leave the Decatron there, or I can link off for Flood. I'm probably link off for Flood. I need an Infernoid to make Flood with, so that's why I was supposed to not use the Snow. My mind is like, oh, I'll make Princess plus Engraver into Flood, but I need an Infernoid, so that's the stupid part that I was neglecting, I guess. It'd be funny you make like Baron there, but yeah. Flood. I can tribute the Engraver this way for Flood instead of having to tribute itself. I think this is fine. And then in the draw phase, I'm going to send Blackout Laughs with Beatrice. And this should be plenty. So I have 4 cards in hand. I have Snow, I have Flood, I have Beatrice, I have Call By, I have... Oh, Blackout, not Beatrice. And then I have Follow-Up. Importantly, it's a lot of Follow-Up. And that's kind of the point that I'm trying to hammer home here. And why I was okay with everything happening is I'm mega chilling. If this gets blocked with them perm, that's not a big deal. Black Goat's best interruption. You could go for further follow-up, I guess, and go Reignition. And that would give me all these back plus more that I managed in their turn. But I think I have enough follow-up as is, because I still have a healthy amount of Infernoids, right? I have, and the Princess too. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Infernoids. 9 Infernoids should be plenty. Okay, that's fine. Deception is fine. Attribute a monster for costs. So it's probably Snake Eye Fiendsmith. Okay, Ash was the card I could have had that in hand already, but so that was the toggle they had on Beatrice. Or they might have another one still, but that's the obvious one. I get Black Goat in response here on Mew, but that's probably premature, so I'm gonna hold off on that. I'll let all this rock for a bit because the Mew doesn't actually press for anything. It gets Diabellstar, right, or Witch. Wanted. If they get Wanted, then when they use Wanted, I can call Witch, and that's fine. And then the Witch becomes completely obsolete. Otherwise, they're forced to go original off this, which is lower value, right? I'm not going to Princess this because I want to be able to use this first, obviously. Then I'll sack it off. Also, you want to use this card with Snow, right? Because of the hidden ability here, where the card is banished from your graveyard, banish a card in the field. I could Snow banish this, but nah, it's fine. I'm not that down bad. So Wanted is here. I'm gonna change. I'll let it resolve because he could add Snake out of Ballstar still. Let him add the Witch first. Yeah, I'm gonna call Black Witch off of Black Olafs, and this should put him in the coffin now. Should be more than enough. And actually, maybe I should have done it when I added the Wanted, because I also get to now trigger the Flood. I forgot. In my head, I was saving the synergy for Snow, but it also works on Flood here, right? I don't know. It's not. It's yeah. And then Flood effects, and I'll get rid of this, and they can't use Hallowed anymore, so they're just dead. So they can Wanted draw here, so they have Wanted Witch with no effect. And then 3 other cards. I mean, they still have to deal with Snow, Flood, Princess, Call By, and then follow up. So big chillin'. Big chillin'. Discard Cross out. So the other cards might be okay, right? Because I mean, they don't know that this is Call By, but it very easily could be. I'm not gonna get the summon of this. It does literally nothing to stop me. They got 3 toggle triggers there because of everything. Normal Ash. So threatens Baron, but this can negate Baron, so I'm not concerned. Whether you do 3 Ashes, that's a bit rip. Got Baron here, and of course, then I get the summon before it even happens. Does mean that I beat this. Let's tribute off this because may as well. I don't know. Life Fiend presence is never a bad thing. Converting into the sequence of Shuffle back into Flood, etc. game. Or Flood. I keep calling Evil Flood. It's easy game. That's all I gotta say. Hand traps, no problem. Obviously, I had grass. The grass mill wasn't exceptional. Also, like, I think I was fine either way. This deck is strong. All right, we have Lost the Roll up against Druby. Decked out field, I guess. We got all different things going on. Striker base with the Borreload and this different sleeves. And I don't even know what's, I mean, the field's live twin. I don't know what the sleeves are though. Anyways, our hand here looks okay. I mean, it's pretty good. We have 2 main pushes of the Imagination and Monster Gate, as well as we have like subsidiaries. What do you want to call them? Smaller pushes to try eat interruptions with tracked Infernoids and whatever. So we'll see what they're playing and to what extent their combo is. They start Just Engraver, which could do Snake Eyes stuff, although it's like the lowest form of Snake Eyes. It's vulnerable to hand traps. If they have that though, it should indicate their hand is not at full of extenders. It's also could just be not Snake Eyes still, right? They are playing just Fiendsmith cards. We'll find out here-ish. This does indicate that their hand is full of non-engine though. They're going to be happy to see that I have no hand traps in my deck for them. So let's see if it's a Beatrice Q here or if it's, yeah, so sequence, Lacrima, Beatrice. Now we know what they're playing. See if the Snake Eyes come into play. My thing is though, this might mean I'm not getting Appaloosa, which Appaloosa matters less versus Infernoids because if you recall, these effects here aren't actually effects or summoning conditions. You can't stop them with Appaloosa the way you would stop. What's a good parallel to them? Dragon Rulers. Dragon Rulers which activate in hand and Infernoids do not. But still, it would stop the ability to pop. It would stop the track ability to apply pressure. Alternatively, they don't play Beatrice because it could be just Appo for 3 here, which I've seen some people do. Yeah, okay, this is what I expect. I expect Beatrice to come down. I've seen some lists not play. Oop, I just knocked over. I've seen some lists not play Beatrice. I think that's a mistake. Okay, so Caesar, it's neither. It's Caesar and Regain. So it's like Fiendsmith Bystial control. So I expect a bunch of Bystials in hand, and I expect this to do nothing because I can't do this until I clear this. Thankfully, this should deal with that relatively quickly, as well as wait. So for those who don't know, Caesar can't negate activated effects from a card that's already faced up on the field. Imagination is one of those examples. So you actually can't negate Imagination. That's not bad. Let's just let it rip. He might just explode. He might just leave. Because you can't negate this. You should not be able to negate this. I'm almost certain you cannot negate it. Damn. I got too excited. So now the question is, where do I go from here? I can go... So if I summon... The issue is if I summon these, then this is dead. But don't really have a choice because if I don't summon to attack over it or kill it. At least I know Monster Gate resolves now because he can't Ash. Rules have to be good enough. This will just be nothing in my hand, so this is a pretty bad draw, but what are you going to do, I guess? Yeah. I think that's what I have to do. I have to do it. Okay. It feels bad, man. It targets any monster in just attack mode. Yeah, cool. Just making sure. I should speed up as well because obviously when you're going for the kill shot, time can be a problem. Very important that you cannot Caesar again. So the toggle's active right now. Target to destroy the Caesar. So we get Veiler. If I get Veiler, I can just attack. It's fine. Oh no, actually can't attack. Also, it's 18 in defense. I don't know. I thought it was 12. I saw this being 12, and I'm like, okay, ignore me. Anyways, okay. So I have to deal with that now. This is annoying. I have to track normal summon, which is fine. It's not good, but it's fine. See, there's another toggle. It's not Veiler. That's concerning now, because if I have to SP this, I can't kill him. So, normal summon here. I'm not making Requiem. I'm gonna make. Oh, I took out Karibo, right? I'm gonna go Hida. I'm gonna use the battle phase to kill him because I have to use the battle phase anyways. Nothing that should protect him from battle. Yeah. Okay. And this way I can keep up the Hida after I can monster get away the Ash. Okay. Yeah, he will not die here. Nothing I can do about it. Oh, it could be a Bystial as well because the Veiler's there. Bystial is what I want it to be, obviously. All right, battle phase before I lose. Kill this. Cool. I, by the way, think you should always be putting Caesar intact because of stuff like this. There's also Black Witch that swings over it. I understand it's weaker to Lightning Storm, but you're weaker to so many other cards that I think it's not worth it. That was greedy, putting back the Engraver. That's part of their follow-up. All right, so maybe we can check for what they have here. Okay, so it's not a... Could still be Veiler, but... Anyways, let's hopefully mill some good cards here. Hit a Decatron would be nice. Hitting Engraver would be nice. And more Infernoid names. That doesn't really help. Decatron immediately is not the worst, not the best. So Effect Ascent, Connect the Grave. I'm probably going to pop the back row if I can, right? So send Petrulia. Because I'm going to go Princess anyways. Yeah, so let's pop this. So that way any Bystial in his hand becomes obsolete. And I didn't mill enough Light Fiends. Or I didn't mill anything to make the Light Fiends like live, right? Yeah, no, I can't. I can't go for Light Fiends. Okay, so... Princess. Obviously a fantastic card here. Back Decatron, and we'll run this back again. So I don't think they have Veiler, given they're not doing anything here. I think this is a Bystial in their hand, which is nice to know. I could bounce this with Antra. That's probably what I should do, right? Because there's no Engraver engrave. Yeah, I think so. The question is, do I make Flood? I don't have any of the Infernoids that come back is the problem. Which is why maybe I shouldn't have done this. I should have gone for something else. I could have gone for a Nunku, for example. Now it's a little bit more precarious. But he also still has to deal with the Princess. I think I leave up the Princess because Princess is just insane. I think I'll leave up the Princess. I need the Princess for follow-up. Okay, so that's actually a mistake on my end. And I should have done something different. As long as this isn't Magnamut, I should be okay. If it's Magnamut, then it's a little more of a trouble. Okay, cool. Just passed. So now I can also use this as a quick effect to tribute my Princess. So if he goes like Bystial effect, I can go this, rip his grave, and then when a Bystial comes out, then I go Princess, pop both. So clears the Bystial off the field. Druis Worm. That one's a little bit more precarious. Because that one kills the Princess, which I don't like. I do not like that. Okay, I'm gonna let this go through. This would have been so much better if I gave myself actual follow-up. Not thrilled with how I played that. So if they normal summon here, or summon another Bystial, then you like attack the Decatron and then link off and send away the Princess. Battle phase. I'm not going to use the effect here because I want to keep this alive. So now he has to link this off to get rid of this. The Princess here is really good follow-up. Hopefully this isn't something he can do something with. Oh, Maxi. Okay, so he has to do this. And now he's just going to make Moon send off the Princess. And yeah, this is where me having the follow-up would have like secured the game. But alas. Yeah, Moon, send the Princess. Now I need to draw follow-up. Now it's on, the onus is on me. Because I have no Infernoids that summon themselves. I have a lot of good draws, to be fair. But if I draw like Monster Gate, then it sucks. I do have Reignition Engrave, which can return Infernoid. The second I see an Infernoid, I should be very comfortable, but yeah. Equip. Equipping does nothing. Unless he plans on killing his own monster, but that makes no sense. I mean, just more attack. I guess that's fine. So it somewhat makes sense. Wait, Typhon. That's interesting, because now if I top deck Void Imagination, I also win. Again. Dark Ruler. That's a shame. Well, his Engraver is stuck under his own monster. I screwed myself. I'm going to keep it in hand in case I draw Vanishment for turn. Hopefully they don't draw a monster that kills me. A card that kills me here. A lot of cards could kill me, though. I deserve it. Because I punted, but... Damn. I had an unlosable position if I just... I mean, so what happens? He summons out... He summons Druis Worm, normals Maxi, makes Moon, and then I just Princess. Yeah. Alright, I had an unlosable position there that I messed up. That's part of learning. I'm not a perfect player. So, yeah. And alright, that was Infernoid. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing something different, that's because I'm Jesse from the future. And old Jesse forgot to hit record on the outro, so we are refilming it. That was just a glimpse of the power of Infernoid, and of course we did not play everything out perfectly. As you guys saw, we could have won that one game pretty easily if I'd just been a little more in tune with the deck. That's part of learning. Mistakes are natural, so don't beat yourself up too much. It's a part of the process. That way, when you start playing matches that do matter, say you enter tournaments, you'll be more on the ball. And although I didn't show off the full power of this deck because there's many different combos involved, it should give you an idea of why this deck is a powerful candidate. And more so than even my Grass Tier Element deck, this deck has more power spells to push through Omni Negates like Desiree that really give this or other decks that are combo based a hard time. In addition, the ability to rip the graveyard is a huge edge because it means not killing your opponent is a feasible option for this deck, as you can play for the follow-up and for the grind. So if you guys are looking to take on a brand new 60 card pile with a ton of different combos, ton of different possibilities, a powerful grind game, and some bombastic displays of power, then this is the new deck for you. As well, as I mentioned before, there are some other ways to build Infernoids. It's one of the cool aspects of the deck where there's so many different synergy factors, whether it being fire, 200 defense, tuners and synchros, level 1, that mean you can build this deck in so many directions. That if you want me to build this deck again in a different fashion, say a rekindling based version, then that's something we can do. So let me know, show me support in the comment section, and tell me what you want to see next, Infernoids or whatever else it is. But with that said, I'll see you guys all next time. Peace.